The New England Patriots did not make any moves prior to Tuesday's trade deadline. Instead, they waited until the start of the weekend to make an addition to their defense. What does it mean financially? Stick around. You're about to be locked in to the Locked On Patriots podcast.
You are Locked On Patriots, your daily New England Patriots podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello to all of you Foxboro faithful. Thank you once again for making Locked On Patriots a daily part of your New England Patriots coverage. I'm your host, Mike Debate. I cover your New England Patriots for Patriots Country of Athlon Sports. Reach out to me. Let me know what's on your mind on X at MDABATENFL. And while you're out there showing some love to Locked On Patriots social media style, please follow our account there as well at LO_Patriots. And Pats fans, today's episode is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to, and they help you do it faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. Terms and conditions apply. And Pats fans, that NFL trade deadline has come and gone. Your New England Patriots made only one move prior to the deadline, sending linebacker Joshua Uche to the Kansas City Chiefs for a 2026 sixth-rounder. Now, the Patriots are still flush with cap space heading into the second half of the season, so to speak.
Oh, yeah.
It's the perfect time for a financial pulse check. And today, we have the Pharaoh of Foxboro Finance, the Pats Cap himself, my good friend Miguel Benzan. Miguel, thank you so much for joining me here today, and welcome back to Locked On Patriots, bud.
It's been too long. This is a perfect time to come in because like halfway through the season. So any like we just had this transaction with Yannick, and then basically it's easy because just you just half the salary of 18 weeks of 9 weeks in. It's been like you said, they got a lot of cap space. I was not expecting Mike this move, but I was when they heard about it yesterday, and it was on the Twitter that they claimed him. Man, is it going to be too late in the week to play him to claim him? And then I heard the show you had with the crossover show, and I forget the guy from Locked On Bears, and he kept on listing to all the guys on the offensive line from the Bears who are going to be out this game. I'm like, man, and so then they did claim him. I'm like, he doesn't have to play a lot. They could just pay him in pass rushing downs, and he's going to be going against backups.
Yeah.
He actually might. I wouldn't be surprised, Mike, if he's active.
And how fortunate are we here on Locked On Patriots? You're joining us on a night where the Patriots actually do make a move here, and they make a move to bolster their defense. It is official now, folks. The move that we're talking about, Miguel and I, the Patriots claiming pass rusher Yannick Ngakoue on Friday. Miguel, it's being reported that the Patriots are going to inherit the remaining part of his $656,667 salary. Now, to make room for Ngakoue, the Patriots also released Raekwon McMillan, who folks had all the promise in the world. He was someone that I believed in. We heard a lot about his potential, his abilities, but just not enough health, not enough consistency to make a difference here in New England. He's out. Ngakoue's in. His release has a financial impact on the Patriots as well. So, Miguel, can you help us break down what this means from the Patriots' perspective financially? What type of hit do they take with Ngakoue and McMillan?
Okay, let's just do McMillan first because he's easiest. Right? His salary is going to stay on the books because he's eligible for termination pay. And by being on the 53-man roster week one, every veteran who's eligible for termination pay has his salary guaranteed by that benefit. All right. He'll show up twice on their ledgers, once as being released and then once for the termination pay benefit. So that salary, it stays on the Patriots books. All right. He didn't have any signing bonus proration in his cap number. All right. He did have he had two types of roster bonuses in his deal. He had day of roster bonus and then active roster bonuses. He earned all of his day of roster bonus. Like, for example, he was on the 53-man roster on week one, so he earned money for that. And then every week every game that he was active, he earned $15,000. All right, so you earned of those. So that $135,000 also counts cap. Obviously, he can't earn anymore.
Right.
So the Patriots. So if you follow me on Twitter, you would see me every game day of, like, right after the actual announcement, I would tweet out, "Hey, Raekwon McMillan earned a $15,000 active roster bonus today." That will no longer happen. Mm-hmm. So therefore, the Patriots will no longer lose $15,000 in cap space because of Raekwon McMillan each game going forward. Mm-hmm. All right. He had also earned his offseason workout bonus. All right. He had some playing time incentives on the books. He will not earn them now. All right. So he was on his way, because he had 25 and 35% were the low tiers, and he was above that mark. He was at like 40, if I remember correctly. I could quickly look it up. It doesn't really matter. All right, because he's not going to earn any of them now. All right. So his cap number, his dead money cap number, is going to be 1.5 on my books, and on their books. That's not going to change. Okay. So that addresses McMillan. Let's go to Yannick. All right. He is also a veteran, but he was signed to the Baltimore Ravens roster after week 1. So their termination pay liability was less than 100%. It was 35%. But because the Patriots claimed him, they now claim the responsibility to pay any termination pay for him. All right. He had what we have called, as Cap Geeks called, and it's also in the CBA, the veteran salary benefit treatment. A guy with his number of credit seasons has a minimum salary of $1.21 million. All right. But only $985,000 of it would count against the cap. The rest counts as a benefit. All right. That way you can keep veterans on team's roster because they don't cost as much. They just, at $985,000 is a player with 2 credited seasons as opposed to 7 credited seasons. All right. He's got 9 weeks left, and there's 9 weeks left of the season. Right? So 985,000 divided by half, by 2. All right, it's $492,500.
Right.
That's how much cap space they lost today because of these 2 things. All right. That, in the scheme of things, when the cap is over 255 million, like, that's nothing. And when you have before this transaction, you had over $36 million in cap space, it does take them a little lower. All right. And we'll talk about how it's going to impact it. We have that spreadsheet for 2025.
Right.
It's it helps in the way that, in fact, you're not going to have McMillan earn not likely to be earned incentives, and he's not going to earn those active rosters going forward. All right. Yannick doesn't have any incentives, so it helps the cap space more so for 2025 than in 2024. Hopefully that addresses the issue. I mean, McMillan wasn't doing so well on the field.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna okay. So Yannick is a $500,000 bet that you can improve on that. All right. If he walks away next year, you might get a comp pick. He's more likely, because of his name and what he can do, is more likely to get a comp pick than Renan McMillan would be. All right. So think about it. Not that I expect the Patriots to get a comp pick in 2026, because I expect them to spend. We'll talk about that later, but we'll expect them to spend big in 2025. But if you're thinking about it, it's if they do not spend as much as we think, and we're wrong, all right, it's better to have Yannick leaving for agent than McMillan.
I think that's such a great point to make, because you're looking at a move right now that has very little downside, especially from a financial standpoint. You mentioned it's not really a big financial investment for the Patriots to take a chance on Yannick and see if he can work out here. There's also, the potential of, receiving a comp pick, and I don't want to steal your thunder there. We are going to get into that and how the Patriots spending habits will affect that. But from an on-field perspective, I can tell you I think this is a good move for the New England Patriots. At the top spot in the waiver claim wire, they put this to their advantage. They need help up front. Ngakoue is going to provide that. Now, his statistics are not going to stand out, folks. If you're looking at it from pure stats this season, 5 games for the Ravens this year, just 1.5 sacks. But let's not forget that 2017, that Pro Bowl season, I know he's a little ways removed from that, but those types of instincts don't leave you. This is a player that notched 12 sacks, 6 forced fumbles with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Again, he's a veteran. He's someone that knows multiple systems, spent time with the Vikings, the Raiders, Indianapolis Colts, and of course, the team the Patriots are going to be facing this week, the Chicago Bears. So he is a guy that's gotten around the league a little bit. I think he's going to be best used, Miguel, in situational pass rush. The Patriots need help on generating pressure on opposing quarterbacks. They haven't really been able to do it. They're 4th worst in the NFL with 16 total sacks in 9 games. You need to upgrade that. I think Ngakoue is going to be able to add the veteran leadership they need. Most importantly, I think he's going to provide the Patriots with a bona fide pass rusher, someone who should command the attention of opposing blockers, and that's going to make life easy on Keon White. Maybe even take on the double team at times, and he may be able to provide Keon the space he's going to need to get after the quarterback. So all ways around, folks, I think a smart move and a solid move for the New England Patriots, and it's nice to know that it didn't cost them that much either. But in just a moment, Miguel is going to give us a lesson. We're going to sit and take notes as we always do each and every time he is here. He brought spreadsheets. He's brought all types of visual aids, so you are not going to want to miss a single second of the action. Foxboro Finance 101 will be in session when this episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast continues, a proud part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On listeners, for most of us that like collecting cards, the idea of spending $2,000 or more on a Luka, an Ellie, or a Mahomes rookie card just isn't in the cards. I mean, I love collecting, but that's some serious money to drop. Thanks to slab packs from arenaclub.com, now it's possible to score gem mints for a fraction of their retail price. Every card that I just listed was hit from last week's Arena Club slab pack drop. Arena Club is the only repack that provides real value, a complete view of all possible cards, and clear hit rates for each one. The Arena Club grading process is accurate, fast, and transparent, with full grade rationale provided and an explanation of how your card was scored. Whether you're buying, selling, trading, or displaying, Arena Club is the card collecting platform you have to check out. Right now, you can get 10% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/LockedOnNFL. And don't forget to use the code LockedOnNFL. That's arenaclub.com/LockedOnNFL. Code LockedOnNFL for 10% off your first purchase. Listen up, gentlemen. Your sex life is important. And let's face it, when it comes to the bedroom, nothing is worse than feeling off your game. But your schedule is busy. You don't have the time to go to a doctor's office to get treated for ED. Well, the good news is through HIMS, you can get a personalized treatment without stepping foot outside your door. HIMS is changing men's health care by providing you with access to affordable sexual health treatments from the comfort of your couch. HIMS provides access to a range of doctor-trusted ED treatments. The process is 100% online, so there's no need for uncomfortable doctor's visits. Just answer a series of questions on their site, and a medical provider will determine the right treatment option. Your medication ships directly to you in discreet packaging for free. No insurance is needed, and one low price covers everything from treatments to ongoing care. With hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers, HIMS can help you find the ED option that works for you. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/lockedon. That's HIMS.com/lockedon for your personal ED treatment options. hims.com/lockedon. The products mentioned are chewable compounded products which are not approved by or verified for safety or effectiveness by the FDA. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan. Pats fans, thank you once again for joining us here today on Locked On Patriots. We are taking a Foxboro Finance 101 class at the midway point of the 2024 season. Trade deadline has passed, but the Patriots are now looking towards 2025 and in the future, but they still need to operate for 2024. And joining us here today is the best in the business, the only man in Patriots Nation that can do what he does, my good friend, Miguel the Pats Cap Benzan, providing a Patriots financial pulse check that we all want and we all need here in Patriots Nation. And Miguel, earlier on Friday, the New England Patriots claiming Yannick Ngakoue off of waivers from the Baltimore Ravens. He will now be joining the New England Patriots. Raekwon McMillan is out, but that's only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the Patriots financial pulse check. My friend, I'm going to give you the chalk. I'm going to give you the pointer, and you're going to be able to give us exactly what we need here, which is a Foxboro Finance 101 lesson for the 2024 New England Patriots. How are the Patriots set financially, and what should Pats fans be watching heading into the latter part of this season and beyond?
Okay. Mike, they're in great shape going for the rest of the season. They don't have to make any moves to create cap space. All right. They will lose cap space every week. We had talked about how they lost $15,000 each week because of McMillan earning a not likely to be earned active roster bonus. And I should say this, that type of incentive is the only one that hits the cap this year. All other earned, not likely to be earned incentives hit the cap the following year. All right. So for the Patriots, they have Jamek Hasty. They have Daniel Ngakoue. They're soon going to have Kendrick Bourne earning not likely to be earned after roster bonuses. So they're going to lose, and they're going to have a ton of guys, especially if they stay healthy, and let's knock on wood. All right. The rest of the season, they're going to lose about $1.2 million in cap space because of that. The Patriots not going to tell me, and they're not going to tell us. I'm going to project they're going to lose another $400,000 in cap space with practice squad player elevations. So a guy who's on the practice squad right now is going to make maybe making $12,500 a week on the practice squad. When he gets elevated for the Bears game, and let's say he gets paid as if he's on the 53-man roster, the minimum salary for someone who's on the 53-man roster is $795,000. All right, you divide that by 18. That's way much more, Mike, than $12,500. All right, that's like somewhere between $35,000 more. All right, a week. All right, so they lose for every time they elevate a practice squad players, they lose cap space. All right, they have been elevating more practice squad players than they did last year. All right, they didn't elevate anybody last game, which is a surprise, but they have been elevating more practice squad players than they did last year. Which makes sense because they had very little cap space during the 2023 season. They ended with $22,000 in cap space. Now they got close over to $35 million. What a difference a year makes. All right. Okay. I wish Christian Ellis wasn't hurt because he was my guess for a guy who would get an extension, and now he would have gotten a signing bonus. Now it would have prorated, and that would increase. And that would increase his 2024 cap number while decreasing the Patriots' salary cap space. I expect that the Patriots will extend someone on their roster who's, but I don't know who it is. My guess would have been Christian Ellis, but he's hurt. But we'll see. It wouldn't be surprised if they have the cap space to do it. It wouldn't be surprised if it's two players, but I don't expect any. If we have that list of free agents, there's none of them with the veterans like, wow, they have to sign this guy this year because what if they lose him in free agency? There's none of those guys there. All right. So I'm expecting some of the younger guys who might be a restricted free agent, like a Christian Ellis, or some who might be an exclusive rights free agent. You want to sign him for 2 years. Something like that. We'll see. But they're in great cap space for the rest of the year, and then we can start talking about 2025. So let's go on. This is actually, we were supposed to do this show yesterday, but Mike wasn't feeling well. All right, that's why I has a date, which is the date of yesterday. All right, I say 44 contracts. That's as today. I am projecting the last guy they just signed, the Tyrese Robinson. I expect him to have signed a deal that covers the 2025 season. All right, it doesn't really matter if I'm wrong. All right, because if they didn't, I expect him, if he plays well, he's going to have get a tender, exclusive rights free agent tender of $960,000. All right, mm-hmm. I'm projecting that the next year's cap is going to be $276 million. All right, it's just a guess, Mike, and I'm just going because I'm saying I think the NFL will like to have that number of being is $255.4 million this year. I think they'd like to have a $20 million increase just for the sake of having a $20 million number out there. All right.
Right.
Right now, I have the cap space as over 30, close to 36, but under somewhere at high $35 million. We've talked about how they expect them to lose cap space. All right. Without the extensions, I'm protecting the rollover $34.2 million. All right. So now the next column I was talking about, they're going to have an adjustment. All right. And this is $8 million is mostly from the credit they're going to get from Juju. All right. Because he didn't, when they cut him, all right, he had a $3.19 million salary guarantee, but then he retired, voiding that guarantee. All right. So going to get that money back. And then you have players not likely to be earned incentives. And you get money back for players who didn't earn their likely to be earned active roster bonuses. For example, Kyle Duggar has missed several games. So the Patriots are going to get a credit on their cap because of that. And with all that, I actually came and we just did some numbers. I had that we just adjusted this number today because of McMillan. All right. Because now I had projected him to earn some incentives. Now I'm not. So this number increased to $8 million. All right. So you see, I have them with a well over three. I have them with a. Look at that roll. It says projected 2020 to 24. It should say 2025, folks. I apologize for that. I will take a lap, but I'm going to take a lap tomorrow.
That's right, folks. He will be taking multiple laps tomorrow, but not for punitive reasons. I will get into that in a minute.
Okay. So I have the adjusted cap number is $318.2 million. All right. So then I start working off some charges. Every team next year is going to get a charge around $900,000 for off-season workout bonus. All right. Right now, they currently have $5.7 million in dead money. Most of that is Juju, once again, and Matthew Judon. All right. As of today, with the 44 contracts, all right, I have the Patriots with just under $170 million in cap commitments, $169.9 million. There are a couple of players who are doing so well this year that their incentives for next year, I have them switched over from not likely to be earned to likely to be earned. Specifically, your man Hunter Henry. All right, he gets has incentives for receptions for 50 receptions, 55 receptions, 60 receptions, 65 receptions. All right, he's well on his way to earning it. In fact, he has 39 receptions. If he has 11 tomorrow, he gets a 500. He'll earn the lowest tier. All right, there's a chance. All right, that he gets 11 tomorrow. It's not a big chance, but it's a chance. All right, it's definitely got a chance over the next 2 weeks to start earning his incentive. All right. Now we're talking about Vederian Lowe. All right. There's a thing what we call proven. The PPE raise is what PPE stands for, proven performance escalator. So the draft pick from the 2nd to the 7th round under the 2020 CBA. All right. If you play a lot, all right, you get to raise your salary in the final year of your rookie deal. Lowe is on pace to do so. And now it increases salary by $2.1 million. Mm-hmm. All right. I expect that the Patriots will make RFA tenders to both Christian Ellis and Ben Brown. especially since Ben Brown is starting. All right. My choices, Mike, were to say, hey, they're not going to make a tender to them, and their number would be 0. All right. Or they will make a tender. And so I could see something, well, that's a lot of money to pay Christian Ellis and Ben Brown. All right. All I'm saying is that as of now, I fully expect maybe the Patriots will reach a deal with them in maybe 2020, early 2025, February, or right before early March. Maybe they'll lower that number to $2 million. I'd rather have them on the books for $3.23 million than 0.
Right.
All right. Because I think both of those players will be on their Patriots 90-man roster in March when the league year begins. All right. Ditto with, and because and these RFA tenders and ERFA tenders I'm pointing out to are not guaranteed. All right. So these guys are not guaranteed this money. All right. So there's no fiscal downside to giving the RFA tender, especially when you could see at the very bottom they have 140, and I think they're going to have over $124 million in cap space. All right, you're gonna say, "Well, that's $3 million. Wow, that's a lot of money for that guy." It's barely 1% of their total adjusted cap number. All right, because if you've been a long time Patriots fan, all right, yeah, like I've been my entire life, yeah, $3 million back in the day, I think Tom Brady's salaries in his rookie deal before he got extended didn't even come close to these numbers. All right. So then I expect them to make tenders to DeMonte Jacobs, Jeremiah Farms, and Alex Austin. All right. I do not expect them as a guy. I'll be pleasantly surprised, Mike, if they make a tender to Jacques Jackson. All right. Mm-hmm. It's been my experience that when a rookie spends who's a UFDFA, all right, or somebody drafted in the low rounds, like the 6th and 7th round, spend the entire rookie season on IR, they don't get an ERA, they don't get a tender again. All right, yeah. But if I'm wrong, you could it's just not, his tender will be actually $840,000 because he won't get count. This year doesn't count as a credited season for him. All right. After the season, the Patriots sign a good number of their practice squad players to future deals, and so they'll expect their salaries to be $960,000. All right. You come up and you see there's $124.2 million as of now. All right. I know other people have different numbers. What I leave for the Patriots salary cap space for 2025, what I see, when you see those other numbers, ask them how many players they have on. All right. For example, I'm saying you can see that with this at the end, they have 51 players counting salaries count against the cap. Mm-hmm. All right. That's a big difference than having 44. All right. They also include adjusting for the incentives that Hunter Henry is on pace to make.
Right.
All right. All right. So for example, that $4 million, I can't, and then look at what they're projecting for the 2025 league cap number. We should hear the first projection, Mike, of the 2025 league cap number in December. All right. We'll fight. So I will adjust that number then. I'm just going 2026. Everyone's just guessing because it's just a guess right now, Mike. So I'm just guessing with saying it's $20 million. Some people are using lower numbers than I am. Some people are using higher numbers than I am. I fully admit to guessing. But in the end, the Patriots, I'll say this, will lead the league, should be easily among the league leaders in cap space. They will have to, and since they will have to continue to spend money, and just because of the 90% rule that covers 3 years, all right? And they don't have, like this year, they have several players who got paid in cash over $20 million. You know, you had Drake, you had Owano, you had Bama, all right? They don't have anyone next year. Right. Except for the only player I expect as of now that I'm pretty sure is going to get at least $20 million in cash is going to be their first round draft pick. All right, unless they trade so far down from wherever they are. Yeah, if they trade down to like 10, that guy might not make $20 million next year. All right. But if they stay in the top 3 or 4, they should be definitely paying that guy somewhere in $25 million in cash. All right. Hopefully that addresses that, Mike. I mean, Mike, I started thinking about what they could do with this money, Mike. So I'm thinking like they could definitely go sign a T. Higgins, sign 2 or 3 offensive line starters, all right, and still have enough cap space to address other issues. It's crazy how much. When you have 124 million, 100, what? Let's just say anywhere. Let's just use a range, because I definitely could be wrong. All right, so let's just use a range from 115 to 125. That's enough cap space to do a ton of things, Mike. And they have to spend the cap space because they have that 90% rule covers 2024, 2025, and 2026. They're not going to pay Drake May's compensation is going to go down from $25 million to like $7 million next year. All right. Okay. So they're not going to give Christian Barmore another big bonus. They're not going to give another big bonus to Kyle Duggar. They're not going to give it, to Owanu. So they have to balance. They have to stagger those big amounts out. And it's going to probably be most likely the new players. So they can do it. And people will say the Patriots are cheap. All right. And I'm not, all I can say is we'll talk about this year. All right. I'm not going to talk about the past because we talked about the past so many times, and it's not fair to those people. This year, they're going to end up, after incentives, going to be in the top 15, top half of the spending. All right. Let's talk about the high, but spending for its spending's sake doesn't help you anything. The Cleveland Browns are going to end up spending the most money this year. Does anybody think the Cleveland Browns going to win the Super Bowl this year? No, I don't think so. All right. I mean, it's people focus on the quantity of spending when they should talk about the quality of spending.
Very good point.
I don't. We've said this before, Mike, and and this year they've been in the top half. I'll be surprised if not in the top half again next year. So, folks, I just want to remind you that this next year, a rookie is going to make $840,000. A guy with just one credited season is going to make $960,000. A guy with just 2 seasons in the NFL is going to be a millionaire. All right. So when you talk about, and those are the things that I think people don't realize is how much the rookies are making. They think they're back in. I think these people think they're just making $200,000 or $600,000. They're making like close to $1 million. They're actually going to be, in a couple of years, a rookie to be a millionaire. All right. This is the list. I expect the 3 ERAs except Jackson to get tenders. If I'm wrong about Jackson, it really it's immaterial. All right. Ben Brown and Christian Ellis going to be RFAs. The low tender is $3.23 million as of now. All right. Of course, the increase in that RFA tender it corresponds to an increase in the league cap. All right. Then look at all these guys that are UFAs. All right. I honestly do not see one on this list that says I need to sign them. I have to sign them. I'm saying I don't see one on this list. No offense to anybody's family any player's families on this list. Okay, we talk about somebody extending some guy. Who's the most likely guy either out of the veterans? I would say it'd be Wise out of this list, or Ekeley, because he's already signed an extension with the Patriots and it's relatively cheap. All right, I could see maybe Austin Hooper. All right. Other than that, I mean, like, I don't. There's no one on this list that says I gotta keep him. Really, no offense to any. which means you have these guys who are on the 53-man roster. All right, you got to replace them for next year. Mm-hmm. I know they have a big draft class, relatively big class than the average, right? But that's going to some of these spots going to be filled by those draft picks, and some of these positions are going to be filled by free agents.
Right.
We'll see what happens, Mike. I mean, it's going to be interesting in March to see what they do. I mean, I wish it's too early in the season, but like if T. Higgins is not tagged by the Bengals, and I don't expect him to be tagged, all right, unless they want to tag and trade him, all right. I expect him to get a big deal, and I had guessed at what the Patriots had offered Brandon Ayuk, Mike, and I had guessed that their offer would have given Brandon Ayuk $28 million in cash. All right, in 2024. All right, but he was already. That would have been an extension for him. T. Higgins is going to be someone you're going to sign to a whole new deal,
right?
Which is a little different, right? Because you get that benefit of providing signing bonus over the existing year. So let's say you sign him to 4 years, and let's say he's asking for $30 million a year. That's $120 million a year. All right. He's gonna, if year one, that's I would expect him to get $40 million in cash at least. You know what I'm saying? Right? Yeah. Something like that. So a huge, it's like, if he's gonna get 30 over, I would expect that if he's gonna sign with the Patriots, he's gonna get a lot of money up front. He's gonna have 2025, 2026 salaries guaranteed. I was thinking about this, Mike, a little bit more, but I was trying to think, how the heck, that's a lot of money to get, but the cap's going to go up another 8%.
Yeah.
Maybe another 8%. If they were willing to pay Brandon close to $80 million in over 3 years, which I think, if you put all the tea leaves out there from people, I know that's what it came out to be in my numbers. I should have put that on that. I was thinking about putting that, but that spreadsheet is just all speculation. All right. Totally speculation. All right. I could see them going up to 90 over 3 years, 100 over 3 years with T. Higgins.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think in a lot of ways, I think you make a good point, because not only does this set up the discussion for the Patriots' financial position this year and next year and then beyond, it's also their ability to go external. And I think the Patriots are going to be going much more external than internal. You saw a much more internal focus on the New England Patriots free agents this year. You looked at the guys that they wanted to lock up, core locker room guys, leadership guys that they knew they needed on the field internally. Sign your guys, make sure they're here for the long run, and they're part of that rebuild. Now it's time to go out and show people this is a team that you want to join, because there's a bright future here in New England. And that's a big selling point.
His name is Drake May.
His name is Drake May, absolutely. And Drake will continue to show his prowess on the field. Patriots fans are hoping that it's going to be another stellar performance for Drake in the Windy City this weekend when the Pats take on the Bears. We're going to take a little look ahead to the future, and we're going to give our thoughts on this weekend's Pats-Bears matchup when this episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast wraps up right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On listeners, when you're hiring for your small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help find the right professionals for your team to help you do it faster. Here's the best part, folks. They help you do it for free, because LinkedIn isn't just a job board. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those who aren't actively searching for a new job but might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. And on LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. Hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Locked On listeners, get ready to tackle NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Let your New England fandom work for you by visiting FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win with your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Pats fans, thank you once again for joining us here today on this Foxboro Finance Pulse Check episode of Locked On Patriots. And of course, if we're talking Foxboro Finance, who better than the pharaoh of Foxboro Finance? Joining me here today is my good friend, Miguel the Pats Cap Benzan. Miguel, you always find a way to dazzle us with your financial knowledge when it comes to the Patriots salary cap. I truly mean this. In Patriots media, there is no one that does what you do. There is no one that can do what you do. You truly set the bar to the highest level, my friend, and we are honored on Locked On Patriots to be among the exclusive homes for Miguel, providing all of the wisdom and counsel that he does. But what can I say? I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for doing so, but we're not ready to let you go just yet because you know as well as I, you're looking forward to this weekend's game between the Patriots and the Chicago Bears. When you look at this game, obviously Pat's coming in 2-7. They're, looking to continue to build on strong performances from Drake May. In your estimation, is this a winnable game for the New England Patriots, and what do you see as the outcome here?
I definitely it's a winnable game because of the injuries help lower the difference between the talent, the difference in the discrepancy between the talent level of the Patriots and the Bears. All right. All right. And once you go to the second level on the offensive line, right, it betters the chance of the other team winning. All right. As we saw last night, it takes a couple of bad calls by the referees to change and make an impact on the game. Let's say Keon White has a good game, is a deal breaker or game wrecker. Patriots get a couple favorable calls their way. It could happen. All right. I was Mike before the season. I was just trying to think the Patriots could be the Bears on the road. I was going to lean no. All right. But after listening to the crossover episode, all right, I'm like, they can pull this off. They can really pull this off. I'm like, but I've been going with my heart too much, Mike. I'm going to stick with my heart. I'm going to go with they're going to win. Drake May is going to have a good game. And they got another switch in the offensive. Maybe another. Everybody says they're going to switch the offensive line. Let's go with Stevenson having a big game. And Hunter Henry gets another 6 to 8 catches. There's going to be a squeaker. There's going to be a couple of bad calls to favor the Patriots. The Patriots win. And then I've said this before. The NFL needs to spend the money to fix the officiating. I don't know how they do it. They got to fix it somehow.
Yeah, it has been horrendous this year. No question about it. But bottom line, folks, I'm in agreement with Miguel here. I think this is a winnable game for your New England Patriots. And let me give you Mike's keys to victory here before we wrap things up. Chicago Bears come in. They love to play a lot of zone. There's no question about it when it comes to defense. They love their cover 3, folks. The Patriots need to show Chicago that they can stretch the field vertically. Make the secondary guess as to whether they're going to be going deep or whether they're going to be using the intermediate areas of the field. I want to give a tip of the cap and a nod to my good friend Thomas Murphy, who said several times here on these airwaves, the short game can be another running back at times. So the Bears are not a good run defense. Demario Douglas, Hunter Henry, Antonio Gibson, these guys are going to help use the intermediate areas of the field if the Chicago defense tries to sell out to stop Ramondre Stevenson. On the defensive side of the ball, Pats are without Christian Ellis and Kyle Duggar. That's going to put a lot of strain on that defense, particularly the secondary and the way Kyle likes to play. That means the middle and the front need to step it up. Keon White has to set the edge. That needs to happen in order for Devon Godshaw, Jelani Tavai to facilitate the run defense and the pass defense, respectively. The Bears have weapons. I think Christian Gonzalez is going to get put on Rome Odunze. I think that'll be his matchup. Ooh. Jonathan Jones, the remaining perimeter corners, I think are probably going to draw the unenviable task of trying to defend guys like DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. And, of course, the safeties are going to have their hands full when it comes to Cole Kmet. As I said here on Thursday with the crossover, and Miguel has referenced that a couple of times, the Pats can pull this win off with a full team effort. I think they get that on Sunday. This Bears defense is reeling, and the Patriots can use Drake May's athleticism to keep them off balance all day. In that regard, I like the Patriots in this game, and I'm going with the Pats by a final of 24-21.
Yeah, that was, you said that. I like that score. I like that. I'm going with that score too.
See, great minds think alike. Okay. But I assure you, the greatness is all on the opposite side of the screen here, folks. Miguel always provides top-notch analysis when it comes to Patriots finance, and I thank you for joining us here today, this week, especially in wake of the Patriots activity or lack of activity, so to speak, I guess, during the trade deadline. But you always help to set the record straight and give us a clear picture as to where the Patriots are, where they're headed immediately, and where they're headed long-term in the future. So, folks, definitely check out Miguel at Pats Cap on Twitter. You'll find everything you need when it comes to Patriots finance analysis right there. And, of course, once again, all the great work that Miguel does, not only for Habitat for Humanity, but also for the Alzheimer's Foundation, for which he is participating in a fundraiser tomorrow on Saturday. Yep. Definitely check out Miguel's Twitter page, because you'll find all of the links to be able to donate to the great causes that this man dedicates himself to helping. He's not only a great man when it comes to Patriots finance, but one of the best people you'll meet in any walk of life. And I am honored, my friend, to call you a friend for that reason. Folks, I also thank you for making Locked On Patriots a daily part of your New England Patriots coverage. And don't forget, we're going to be right here on Monday breaking it all down when the Patriots take on the Chicago Bears. Don't forget, folks, a 1 p.m. kickoff. The Patriots taking on the team that starts with a C, ends in an O, and has a hickag in the middle. Duck Bears, Duck Patriots, ready to do business at Soldier Field on Sunday. Miguel loves it. He's a fan of the Superfans on SNL. We all miss him. Great. I love those sketches, my friend. I absolutely love that.
I'm dying. Sorry.
I guess you liked my Superfans.
Yes.
I guess. Duck Bears. That SNL sketch is still timeless, folks. Definitely check that out over the weekend. I'm sure there are clips of it on YouTube somewhere where you can find it. One of my favorites. But bottom line, I want to thank my good friend Miguel Benzan for joining me here today. And I want to thank all of you everydayers out there, each and every one of you, for making Locked On Patriots a daily part of your New England Patriots coverage. On behalf of Miguel, the Pats Cap himself, Benzan, I'm Mike Debate, reminding all of you to stay safe, stay well, be the change you wish to see in the world. Have a great day, everyone. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here again on Monday on Locked On Patriots.